Hello and welcome to Module 2. So first, some housekeeping. Do not panic. If you turn your assignment in your time zone and you're not in the Eastern time zone, that is okay. I am not going to penalize for that. The only time there's a penalty for late submission is at the end of the class. After Module 8 ends, I have 48 hours to post final grades. So when that clock runs, it runs. But other than that, I will not penalize you for late submission. I have worked my way through school while balancing a family, a business. There are demands, and sometimes those finite deadlines, they just don't work with your schedule, and I understand that. So don't let that stress you. I always feel so bad when Monday morning I have an email from somebody who is stressed about that. Don't stress about that. Learning the material, understanding what's going on in the class, that's what I care about. So there you go. But again, in Module 8, we have a hard deadline that I can't do anything about. So keep that in mind. All right, this week we are considering why is it important to consider diverse perspectives in the interpretation of history. I think last week's discussion is a great example of many different perspectives. Some of you had firsthand experience with immigrating yourselves. Some of you had a parent who immigrated and you had that firsthand perspective of their experience there. But also, so I have always loved the 4th of July holidays. In the summer, you're not having to worry about school, and sometimes the children's activities are a little bit more mellow. And so I have always loved the 4th of July holiday. And also, I think we live in a great country. I think it's a fabulous experiment, and the Declaration of Independence is what kicks that off. It's standing for we want to govern ourselves. That goes with human nature. We want to do what we want to do. We don't like being told what to do. We don't like it when something is different than our understanding of how it should be. So I really think the Declaration of Independence, despite obviously there were evils happening in the country at the time with slavery, that is an evil. And that is just an evil, period. However, the Declaration of Independence has a lot of what we stand for just individually. We want to do what we want to do. We don't want to be told what to do by someone else. And obviously, that is in direct contradiction to the practice of slavery that was going on. So with that in mind, Frederick Douglass gave a speech in 1852, and he said, "What to the slave is the 4th of July?" Because 1852, that's before the Civil War. It's after the Compromise of 1850. It's after the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. And so that to me is such a stark contrast and such a different perspective. So he said that the enslaved would watch these 4th of July celebrations, these freedom celebrations from their enslaved status, their enslaved camps, their horrible conditions. And so that's why we need primary sources. That's why we need to consider diverse perspectives that don't necessarily agree with ours. We need to read and know about those. We see another contradiction with Andrew Jackson. With his presidency, he was of the common people, right? We had all these polished, genteel gentlemen as presidents, and then we get Andrew Jackson in there. He is opinionated and aggressive and takes action and does whatever the heck he wants to. So we see he's encouraging the common man, because women did not have the right to vote yet. He's encouraging the common man to participate in government. That's a good thing. We don't just want the elites participating in government. We want everyone participating in government. Everyone. So that is a good thing, the common man. However, also under Andrew Jackson, we have the 1830 Indian Removal Act. We're stealing land from Native American nations. We are rounding them up like cattle and driving them on foot like cattle out of their lands, out of everything that they know and technically own, the argument can be made to these foreign reservations where they have to relearn a growing cycle for food, a migration pattern for the animals they hunt. So there's a lot of contradictions, and you can't just have the version of history that you're comfortable with, that you like. You have to consider the whole thing. And we get that from primary sources. Those are written by the participants in the events. And we get them from, or timely newspaper articles that were written immediately after the events. Journals, diaries, letters, pictures, artifacts. These are primary sources. And then we also need secondary sources. But if all we study are secondary sources, we miss that raw emotion and that perspective that comes from primary sources. So there you go. Also, always in the study of history, we are looking at bias. Whether we think so or not, we have bias. Whether we think we are impartial and fair, in all circumstances, we're not. We have likes, we have dislikes, we have experiences that shape. When all of our experiences, when we view new information, it has to filter through all of our experiences, everything we've learned along the way. We have bias. Everybody does. And so it's recognizing that. And also that drives the need for diverse perspectives so that we can get a total picture. So this week, you need to read the Module 2 guide, review the Module 2 resources, respond to the discussion prompt, and complete and submit your topic proposal. I've already had some of you reach out to me. You want to do something different than what's listed, that's fine. So far, the alternate proposals have been scholarly and on topics that have an abundance of research. You don't want to be so narrow that you don't have any research. But if you want to do a topic that's not listed, that's fine. You just reach out to me and let's make sure it's fine, but most likely it's fine. All right, have a great week.